You can make your guitar sound incredibly vocal, like a slide player, like this. Okay, so if you've ever heard Jeff Beck, this is kind of what he's doing. Check out if you have never heard him, Because We've Ended as Lovers. Incredible, incredible song. But in order to do this, I'm a huge Derek Trucks fan. So any other Derek Trucks fans, raise your hand out there. What I have is I have this. I'll show you. I have this bridge, and the bridge is raised just a little bit, so I can do like a whammy bar thing this way, but I can also do it the other way, right? Like pulling up. And that is super, super important for doing these bends because some of these bends, like say we're in the key of A, we're going to start on the 2 of the pentatonic scale, so a B note. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to yank, I'm going to show you a couple tips and tricks on how you can get this vocal sound. And what I would do is I would yank the whammy bar this way to bend the note up, right? And if you don't have a whammy bar or your whammy bar only goes down, that's gonna be a huge, huge problem, right? You're not gonna be able to get that vocal sound. I love this sound just because to me it sounds like a singer, and instead of bending, listen to the difference. So bending versus the whammy. Right? You could get a really vocal, like almost like Aretha Franklin sound out of your guitar. And that's really the goal, right? We're supposed to be able to sing and on our instruments. So here's another really, really fun one. If we're on the 5, do this whammy up, and we can bend it up. Ba-da-da-da. Sounds very, very vocal. Those are really, really nice phrases just to start and like wet your palate with. And you could really like the sky is the limit because you can like what's really cool too. Here's another one is if you just like start with the whammy bar dive bombed a little bit, and you bend into the major third. So you bend into like the C sharp note. You know what sound? That's a little more in tune, right? That sounds like a slide player, that sounds more like Dwayne Allman, uh, you know? And like literally the sky's the limit with like it's really about touch. That's the biggest thing, touch and pitch. So if you're playing like a slow song, make sure you're touching the strings nice and gentle and your pitch is on point. That's the hardest thing about playing like this because normally, if you're just playing and you're playing the notes and you want to go right, you have the frets keep you in tune and like boom, but with the whammy bar, it's almost like you're playing a violin or a fretless instrument. So you really got to use your ears in order to get the pitch right on. Yeah, super, super rewarding. To me, it's totally reminiscent of Derek Trucks, of Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck, any Jeff Beck fans out there? Man, I have his records. Let me know what your favorite record is of these artists that I'm shouting out. Dwayne or Derek Trucks, Jeff Beck. I actually just saw Derek Trucks the other week. Last week, he was at the Greek Theater here in Los Angeles, him and his wife, Susan Tedeschi, and he brought the house down. And man, I can't say enough good things about. He is, to me, he's like the guitar hero of, at least my childhood. I remember listening to One Way Out, this live album with him and Warren Haynes when I was growing up. He must have been no more than 20, 21 years old, Derek Trucks. And if you've never heard his solo on Desdemona on One Way Out, that record, do yourself a favor. After you're done watching this video, check it out. It is absolutely like it sucks the air out of the room. It's so, so, so good. Yeah, incredible. And that's where a lot of these vocal phrases are coming from. And for him, it's coming from a lot of vocal like Etta James and Aretha Franklin. And honestly, Derek Trucks' wife, Susan Tedeschi, Derek plays slide like Susan sings. It's a perfect match. But anyways, back to this little slide technique. It all is one thing, right? Because the more you listen, the more your ear gets tuned into what those little nuances are, and the more your ear is attuned, like the better your pitch is going to be, and it's this like awesome cycle of like, oh, my ear's getting better, so my bends and my whammy's getting better, and you're just gonna be a better player overall. So listening is super, super, super important. Even if you're on the tonic, like the one note of an A, right? You can bend up and you could bend down, you're trying to make it like a melody, like a super, super melodic phrase. And you could choose melodies that you're familiar with, like that Bonnie Raitt song, I Can't Make You Love Me. Literally any melody that you can think of is going to be a good exercise. That's one that I really, really love. You could do. I have a little kid. I don't know if anybody else has a little kid, but I have a little kid, and I'm very, very used to singing Disney or singing lullabies. So if there's any lullabies that ring true to you, like you could literally do Twinkle Twinkle and try to make it melodic, right? You know? Like you could just have fun with it. And yeah, just make it fun, make it practical. Um, and yeah, just choose melodies and bends that you're actually going to use. For me, like choosing melodies that I like really helps. I don't want you to, if you're a jazz or blues or neo soul player, don't be choosing like some crazy rock stuff that you don't care about. Choose some cool melodies. That ring true to you. And keep in mind, here's a pro tip: every melody is in the major scale. That's a whole separate video, but every melody you've ever heard is basically in the major scale. Tens of thousands of melodies, probably millions of melodies at this point. But that could be a whole separate PhD dissertation. But yeah, try this type of vocal phrasing on guitar. Remember, just to summarize, remember to bend on the two. You can bend into the three. It'll sound like this. Or bend up from the five. It'll sound like that. Just have fun with it. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for being a part of this community. Let me know how this is sounding on your guitar. If you have a Gretsch as well, or a Les Paul that has a Bigsby, this will work just as well. So it doesn't have to be a specific whammy bar like this. A Bigsby will work as well. Let me know how it's going in the comments. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.